So in this particular video lecture, we will discuss the question paper number 1 of botany, which is asked by the UPSC Mains examination of 2020. As you already know, if you are a UPSC aspirant and you have botany as your optional subject, the UPSC Mains has occurred recently. In that, the botany paper number 1 and the paper number 2 are there, and we should know that which kind of questions are actually asked by the UPSC in this particular mains examination, right? So that we can judge how to prepare for this examination and which type of questions actually asked by the UPSC, so that we will prepare our answers accordingly, right? So let us discuss the question paper number 1 for the UPSC mains 2020. Now see, these are all the instructions that were given on the question paper. Let us consider these instructions one by one. See, there are total 8 questions which are divided into the two sections, that is the section A and section B, okay? And they were printed both in the Hindi as well as in the English language. That is, you will have a question paper in that you will have the total 8 questions, right? And these 8 questions were divided into the two sections accordingly, right? The section A and section B. And these questions were actually printed in both the languages, which is called Hindi language and the English language, right? But out of this 8, the candidate has to attempt the 5 questions in an all. That is, in an all, you have to attempt the 5 questions out of the 8 questions, okay? You do not have to answer all the 8 questions, but out of it, you should answer the any 5, right? But in that, we have the conditions. See, question number 1 and 5 are compulsory. Okay, so question number 1 and the question number 5, both these questions are compulsory. You have to attempt it. There is no option for this particular questions. That is the question 1 and the question 5. These are the compulsory questions, right? And out of the remaining, any 3 to be attempted. Okay, choosing at least 1 from the each section. See, whatever the remaining questions are there, when you have compulsory 2 questions, the 6 questions remain there. Out of these 6 questions, 3 questions has to attempt. So for these 3 questions, you will have the options, right? So these are 3 questions you should attempt out of the 6 questions, but there is a one condition that 1 question at least come from the one section, right? That is, out of the 2 sections, one should be that is section A and section B. In the section with section A, there should be the one question at least, and section B there should be the one question at least. Okay, so this can happen like this, that you have attempted the 1 question from the section A and 2 questions from the section B, or 1 question from the section A. Section B, and 2 questions from the section A. Okay, so how to attend the questions in the UPSC mains examination for the botany? In and all, there were the 8 questions. Okay, out of 8, you have to attempt 5. In that, question number 1 and the question number 5 are compulsory in nature. You have to attempt them. There is no option for that. Out of the remaining 6 questions, the 3 has to attempt, but there is one condition: at least 1 should come from the each section. Okay. See, whatever the number of marks that were carried by the question, they were indicated against the question. Okay, against the question, you will find the number of marks, how many number of marks are given for this particular question, right? See, answer must be written in a medium authorized in the admission certificate. Okay, see, you already know that while filling up for the UPSC mains examination, the UPSC asks you in which language you want to write the mains examination, right? Majority of the students choose the English language, some of the students choose the Hindi language, right? Other languages are also there. So whatever the medium of language you have chosen, you should write the answer in that language only. Okay, if you have chosen the English language, you should write the answer in English language, and if you have chosen the Hindi language, you should write the answers in the Hindi language only. And you should write this answer in the answer booklet only. Okay, this is the question come answer booklet. Actually, the question is given at the top, and you have to write the answer on rest of the page. Okay, and the sufficient space is also provided for this particular answer writing, right? See, no marks will be given to the answers written for the medium other than the authorized one. Okay, for example, you have taken the English language while filling up the form, and if you write down the answer in the Hindi language, no marks will be given for this particular answer. Okay, see, the word limit, whatever the word limit is there in the question, it is actually specified in the question. Okay, and it should be adhered to. You should stick to that word limit, and within that word limit, you have to answer the question. Okay, and so that you will have the complete marks. In any otherwise, there will be the negative marking regarding this particular word limit condition, because if there is a condition of 150 words and you are writing 250 words, it will be the negative impact on your answer. Okay, see, the diagrams or the figures wherever required may be drawn in a space provided for the answering the question itself. Okay, whatever the space provided for the answer writing, in that space only you have to draw the diagrams or the figures if required. Okay, if any answer requires the diagrams or the figures, you should add these figures in the space provided for the answer. See, attempt of questions shall be counted in the sequential order. See, very, very important. In a sequential order, for example, you have attempted the question 1, then you have attempted the question 3, then you have attempted the question 5, then the sixth question, then the seventh question, and then the eighth question. Okay. For example, you have gone like this, and you already know, yeah, out of the 8, you have to answer only the 5 ones, right? So here, the first one and the fifth one were the compulsory one. And if we counted sequentially, the first question, third, fifth, sixth, and seventh, here the fifth question is the last question. So eighth question will not be considered for the evaluation. Okay. So you have to answer any 5, and the first 5 going to evaluate, and these the first 5 questions will give you the total marks. Okay. So make sure that you are selecting the right question and you are answering it in the right sequence. All right. Okay. So let us consider the question number 1. See, what is the question number 1? Question number 1 is divided into the 5 sub questions, that is the A, B, C, D, and E. And here is the condition that describe the following in a 150 words each. Okay, you should not go beyond the 150 words while answering these particular questions. Okay, now understand this. See the first sub question, that is the gram negative and the gram positive bacterial cell walls. Okay, here in this particular question, we have studied the bacteria in our classes, and these bacterial structural cell walls are there. And for the gram negative bacteria and gram positive bacteria, the cell walls of the bacteria are different, right? See, regarding that, we have uploaded this particular video lecture. In this particular video lecture, we are explaining the structure and reproduction in the bacteria. Okay, so bacteria, when you study the bacteria in that category, you have the 2 subclasses, that is the gram positive bacteria and the gram negative bacteria. And the cell wall of gram positive bacteria and cell wall of gram negative bacteria is quite different from the one another. Okay, and the answer for this particular question is typically given in this video lecture. Okay, so in the second sub question, you will find the very simple question, that is the structure and reproduction in the lichens. Okay, quite an easy question, because the lichens we have largely studied and we have uploaded many videos regarding the lichens. Consider this second video. Here the lichens structure, that is the foliose, fruticose, squamous, frustose, and filamentous lichens are there, and how these lichens are there and what is their structure, it is already explained in this particular video lecture. Then in this second lecture, we have defined the thalostructure and the reproduction and the various types of the lichens. So just for writing down the structure and the reproduction in the lichens, you will have the 10 marks here. Okay, as you know, lichens is nothing but the combination of algae and the fungi, right? And this combination of algae and fungi together create the lichens. And lichens is a pretty much interesting group of organism, and hence you will find in the majority of the time UPSC Mains ask this particular topic, which is called the lichens. Okay, and in detail we have the structure and reproduction in the lichen in these video lectures. So don't miss these video lectures. Try to take the notes and learn it as thorough as possible, because in the UPSC 2021 as well, these questions may going to repeat. Okay, then in the third question, we have the heterotrichous habit in the algae. Okay, so as you know, algae has a different habitats. Out of them, heterotrichous habitat is one. Okay, so generally when you talk about the algae, we thought about the aquatic habitat. Okay, then there are some shady habitats as well, then tree trunk as well, right, and the symbiotic association with the other organism as well, right? So various types of habitats are there, and out of them, one is the heterotrichous habitat as well. Okay, you should write this heterotrichous habit of the algae to get the 10 marks, right? Then in the fourth question, we have the elaters and their significance. As you know, this is the question relating with the bryophytes and the relating with the spores dispersal, right? For the spore dispersal, you have the elaters, and these elaters typically do the function of helping the spores to disperse far away, right? So elaters are present in bryophytes. They show very much significance in the reproduction in the bryophytes. So writing down about the elaters and its significance, you will again get the 10 marks here. Okay. Then in the fifth sub question, draw the well-level longitudinal section of structure of mature sporogonium in the anthoceros. Okay, as you know, the different types of these structures that were shown in the anthoceros, you have to study them, because the Markensia, Anthoceros, Riccia, these are all the bryophytes which are of typical importance for the UPSC Mains. Now this time the UPSC has gone for the anthoceros, right? And in the anthoceros, you have to draw the well-level diagram of sporogonia. Okay, so on our channel, we have largely described the bryophytes, and regarding that, we have studied a particular topic which is called as the evolution of sporophytes in bryophytes, in which the theory of sterilization and theory of reduction is there. In this particular video lecture, you will find how there is a sporophyte of the anthoceros. because in this particular video lecture in detail we have told you about the sporogonium or the sporophyte of the bryophytes and how they were evolved over a period of time. So the sporophyte of Anthoceros is typically given in this video lecture, and we have in detail understood what is the structure and how the longitudinal structure of the Anthoceros sporogonium it look like. Okay, so the maximum of the first questions where we have already uploaded in our Botany Optional channel, and if you are a member or the subscriber of our Botany Optional channel, you can easily write down the answer of this UPSC mains examination question, right? So this question number 1, which is divided into the 5 sub questions, each having the 10 marks. In and all, there are the 50 marks for this particular first question. And as you already know, the first question is the compulsory question. Okay, compulsorily you have to attempt this question, and you will not find any option for this particular question. Okay, now let us move to the second question. See, the second question is divided into the 3 sub questions. Okay, the A, B, and C question. The A sub question, we have the describe the life cycle of the Puccinia graminis tracity with the suitable sketch. See, Puccinia graminis, as you know, it caused the stem rust, right? The stem rust of wheat, it is caused by the Puccinia graminis, this fungi, and the life cycle of this Puccinia graminis you have to sketch it. Okay, and for describing the life cycle of this particular disease causing agent, you will get the 20 marks. Okay, so the long question is here, and you have to write down the life cycle of the Puccinia graminis. As you already know, we have uploaded this the important crop diseases caused by the fungi, in which we have the stem rust of the wheat, and under this particular video lecture you will find the life cycle of the Puccinia graminis. Okay, in which this Puccinia graminis is causing the wheat rust disease to the wheat, and the large crop losses are there. Okay, so just for describing the life cycle of the Puccinia graminis, here you will get the 20 marks, right? See, in the second question, give an illustrated account of the various stellar structures in the pteridophytes, right? How the different types of the steels that can be seen in the pteridophytes. This question is asked by the UPSC Mains in 2020, and you know we have straight away video for this, that is the stellar evolution in pteridophytes, right? The stellar theory or whatever the steel evolution in pteridophytes occurred, you have to give this in this particular answer, right? So the straightforward answer for this particular stellar structure in pteridophytes is typically given in this particular video lecture, right? So different types of the steels in the pteridophytes, you have to draw the steels and you have to explain these steels which are present in the pteridophytes, right? Then in the third sub question, the UPSC is asking about to describe the lytic and the lysogenic cycle of the viruses, that is the reproductive cycles of the viruses, that is how the viruses are going to replicate. They replicate through the lytic and the lysogenic cycles, right? And we have discussed this lytic cycle and the lysogenic cycle in the structure and reproduction in the viruses, right? When you open this particular video, you will find the lytic cycle as well as the lysogenic cycle, and what is the difference between the lytic cycle and the lysogenic cycle of the viruses. Okay, so typically this second question is already uploaded in our channel, and you can easily answer it because all of these questions are quite easy, and majority of you has already done this kind of answer in your home assignment. And when you submit, and that is why we are always telling you that why the home assignments are important, because when you write the home assignment, it is writing the answers for the UPSC mains examination, right? For example, the life cycle of the Puccinia graminis and the stellar evolution in the pteridophytes and lytic and lysogenic cycles, these are all topics which are thoroughly discussed on our channel, and you have already done the home assignment relating to this particular topics, right? Now let us consider the third question, which is again divided into the 3 sub question A, B, and C. See the first sub question, write the names of the causal organism, symptoms, and control measures for the citrus canker and the late blight of a potato. Okay, so here you understand that the 2 diseases were asked. Okay, the first disease is called the citrus canker, and the second disease is called the late blight of potato. Okay, out of these 2 diseases, the one disease, that is the late blight of a potato, which is caused by the fungi, it is already uploaded on our channel, but the citrus canker, this disease is yet to be uploaded. Okay, but here what we have to write down, the what is the causal agent, which organism is causing this particular disease, then what are the symptoms after this disease has been caused, and what are the control measures for this particular disease. Okay, so writing down these 3 things for the citrus canker and the late blight of a potato, you will get the 10 marks. That is, for the citrus disease you will have 10 marks, and for the late blight you have the 10 marks. So very easy question. You know, when we have discussed the late blight of a potato, here you have understood that what are the causal organisms are there, how the symptoms are there in the plant, and how we can control this particular disease. Okay, so The very easy question again, and you can answer it straight away once you have the right kind of information regarding that particular disease. Okay, see the second sub question: compare and contrast the sporocarp of Marsilia and the Salvinia. Okay, again very specific question. Here you will understand how the UPSC likes to ask the specific questions. See again the sporocarp of Marsilia, which is an interesting structure which we have discussed in our discussion on in the lecture on the Marsilia. Okay, we have discussed the Marsilia at their habitat structure, gametophyte, sporophyte, etc., their reproduction, alternation of generation, everything we have understood. And this Marsilia sporocarp is also given in this particular video lecture, right? But the sporocarp of the Salvinia is yet to be discussed on our channel. Very soon we are going to upload this particular video as well. Okay, so for just giving the sporocarp of the Marsilia, you will have the half marks, that is the 7.5 marks, right? And for writing down the other half, you will get the 7.5 marks, making it total to the 15 marks. That is, you have to compare and contrast the sporocarp which belongs to the Marsilia and which belongs to the Salvinia, right? Then in the third sub question, the UPSC is asking you to discuss the post-fertilization changes with the suitable diagram in the Polycyphonia. Polycyphonia is the red algae, okay? So we have discussed the red algae on in our video lectures, and in this red algae, what they were asking you about the post-fertilization changes. That is, once the fertilization has occurred, after the fertilization, when the zygote is got formed, how this zygote is going to develop, what are the changes which are going to occur after the fertilization, that is asked by the UPSC Mains regarding the Polycyphonia. So here you can understand how specific is the UPSC, right? They did not ask about the post-fertilization change in the red algae, but they were giving the specific examples like the Polycyphonia. So now you understand that the every kind of the algae genus we have to discuss through our lectures, so that there will not be any possibility of missing the questions, because this Polycyphonia is the red algae, and in this particular Polycyphonia you have to give the post fertilization changes that has occurred after the fertilization, right? So this type of specific questions you also have to attempt in order to get the full marks in the UPSC Mains examination, and for that you should have the in detail study whether these are the algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, or the angiosperms. All right. So again, the third question seems quite easy, and the majority of these questions were already discussed. If you are preparing for the UPSC 2021, you should join the channel immediately and complete the syllabus as soon as possible. All right. Now consider the fourth question, which is again divided into three sub questions: question A, question B, and question C. Okay. See the first sub question: what do you understand by the International Code of Botanical Nomenclature? And write down its principle. Okay. That is, you have to write down what is the meaning of ICBN. Okay. That is the International Code of Botanical Nomenclature. And you know, we have uploaded the two videos regarding that. That is what is the International Code of Botanical Nomenclature and how we can use the binomial nomenclature in that. And then we have uploaded the rules or the principles as well regarding the International Code of Botanical Nomenclature. So for writing down what is the meaning of the International Code of Botanical Nomenclature, you will get the 10 marks, and for writing down its principle, you will again get the 10 marks, making it total to the 20 marks. And all the detailed video lecture regarding this particular question is already on the channel, so that you can write the answers thoroughly. Okay. So here, just for writing the International Code of Botanical Nomenclature, as you know, this is the code which is applied for naming the plant, right? How we can name the plant, how we can give the botanical name to the plant. These are all the rules and the principles which are contained in this particular International Code of Botanical Nomenclature. Okay, and you should also write down its principle in order to get the complete marks. And all these things were already available on our channel, right? See the second sub question briefly explains the anomalous secondary growth in Borhavia and the Dracena. So anomalous secondary growth is a part of our next chapter, and this secondary growth, how the different kind of secondary growth rather than the normal secondary growth occurred in some of the plants. Okay, and the Borhavia and the Dracena are the examples of these plants. For writing down this abnormal or the anomalous secondary growth in these plants, you will get the 15 marks. Okay, so very soon we are going to start the new chapters, and these new chapters will cover this new topic as well, right? See the fourth third sub question, that is write the applications of the microbiology in the medicine. Again, a very easy question. We have ready-made material for this. Here you will find the application of the microbiology in the industry and medicine, that is the part 2, and industry and medicine, that is the part 1. Okay, so in this part 1 and part 2 you will find the what are the applications of this microbiology in the medicine. Okay, so ready-made 15 marks you can get if you just watch this video and take the notes. Okay, so for writing down just what are the microbes which are useful in the medicinal industries, Okay, for this you will have the 15 marks, and again the very easy question asked by the UPSC mains examination. That is the very generalized question. Okay, sometimes UPSC may become specialized in asking the questions just like the question which are asked about the polycyphonia, and sometimes they were just asking the generalized questions, for example writing down the applications of the microbiology in the medicines. Okay, now consider this. See the fifth question. The fifth question is divided into the five sub questions: the A, B, C, D, and E. Okay. Now this fifth question, you must know this is the compulsory question, right? You have to compulsory attempt this question, and the every sub question has to attempt within the limit of the 150 words, right? See, in the first question, you have to write down about the plant cell, then the tissue, then the organ culture. Okay, so how we can culture the plant cell, tissue, or the organ? And this is the part of a plant tissue culture, right? This is the fifth chapter, that is the morphogenesis, and how we can use the plant tissue culture methods to grow the plants in our laboratory. Okay, regarding that, we have the plant cell, tissue, and the organ culture, and this plant cell, tissue, and organ culture is detail given in the chapter number 5, that is in the morphogenesis. This chapter is yet to complete on our channel, and that is why you will not find any video relating to this particular question, right? So in the first sub question, you have to give how we can culture the plant cell, tissue, and the organ in the plant tissue culture labs, right? Then in the second question, again the specific question has asked, that is how we can do the embryo rescue in the angiosperm. Again, topic belongs to the same parent topic, that is how we can rescue the embryo. Okay, these are again relating with the plant tissue culture methods, and again belonging to the fifth chapter, that is how we can rescue the embryo in the angiosperms. Okay, so these particular sequential method is there, and we are going to discuss this very soon. Okay, now in fifth sub question, they were asking the classification and importance of a polyembryony. As you know, polyembryony is a typical topic given in your UPSC main syllabus, and this topic itself is suggesting that there were the many embryos, and how the many embryos are created, and what is the classification and importance of this polyembryony, you have to give under this particular fifth question. Okay, and for giving this answer, you will get the 10 marks again. Okay, so polyembryony is quite a simple topic, and how the polyembryos are going to form, there is a process, and we can classify actually this polyembryony, and it has a huge importance as well. Okay, so for writing down the classification and the importance of polyembryony, you will have the 10 marks here. Then in the fifth question, the endosperm haustoria has asked. Okay, so you just have to comment directly the endosperm haustoria, and this particular structure which is found during the endospermic development, you have to write down these particular things regarding the endosperm haustoria, and for that you will get again the 10 marks. Okay, then there is a fifth question in which there is a plants as a source of perfumery has been asked. Okay, you just have to write down the any 5 plants and their botanical names, and which chemical compounds we have to extract from these plants in order to create the perfumes, right? So which plants are used to produce the perfumes, this is the question, and we already have a very short video regarding this, which is called the plants as a source of perfumery. Okay, so as it is video with the same title, that is the plants as a source of perfumery, it is available on our channel. You will readily find the botanical names, you will readily find the which type of chemical is actually used, actually extract from these plants to be used as a perfume. Okay, so again the fifth question, although it's a compulsory question again, but it's a very simple type of question, because all the 5 sub questions are easily answerable once you complete the syllabus of a botany optional, right? Now consider the sixth question, which is divided into the 3 sub questions: the question A, question B, and question C. Now here in the question number A, you have to answer that what is the identifying floral features, floral formula, and the floral diagram for the Malvaceae and the Orchidaceae family. As you know, all the families were given in the chapter number 3, that is in the phanerogams, and here they have asked specifically about the Malvaceae family and the Orchidaceae family. For the Malvaceae family, you have to write down its floral features, that is how the flower is there, which type of features were shown by the flower, then the floral formula for this particular family, and the floral diagram as well as for these particular 2 families, that is the Malvaceae and the Orchidaceae. For writing down these 3 features for each family, you will get the 20 marks. Okay, so this is the long question, and in this long question, for writing down just the floral or the flower characters of the Malvaceae and Orchidaceae, floral formula for the Malvaceae and Orchidaceae, and the floral diagram for the Malvaceae and the Orchidaceae, you will have the complete 20 marks. Okay, regarding that, these video lectures soon going to upload on our channel, so don't miss these video lectures because they are of a paramount importance. Okay, see, some of the video lectures are free. For example, these video lectures what you see on the screen, for example, the plants as sources of oil or as a timber, these are the free video lectures which are available on our channel. Okay, while the maximum of the video lectures are the members only lectures. Okay, so with the nominal fees, for example, the 159, then the 1199, and for the 3999 we have provided the memberships for the various in the UPSC mains examination. So you should take this membership in order to complete your syllabus in a quick time. Okay, so here in the first question you have to write down about the Malvaceae and the Orchidaceae family, which is the part of the third chapter, right? Then in the second sub question they were asking, write the botanical names, then the ethnomedicinal use of the three medicinally important members in each case of the Solanaceae and the Apiaceae. See how specific is UPSC this time. In this category, what they were asking is the botanical names and their ethnomedicinal use of a three medicinally important members of the Solanaceae, that is the three members of the Solanaceae which are ethnobotanically or ethnomedicinally important, and the three members of the Apiaceae which are ethnomedicinally important. So regarding the importance of the ethnobotany, we have already this video on our botany channel, right? So make sure to check out this, and but make sure that you have to specifically go for the three members of the Solanaceae and three members of the Apiaceae. Okay, so whatever the ethnomedicinal use you are going to put forward, this should be regarding the Solanaceae members and the Apiaceae members, and for this you will get the 15 marks. Okay, so here the specificity of the UPSC can be seen. They can ask you the very specific question. They can ask for the, they can go for the specific plants which belongs to the Solanaceae and the Apiaceae for its ethnomedicinal use, right? So the specific studies are also very important during the UPSC mains preparation for the botany optional. See, the third sub question, which is the write the botanical names families of the plants yielding timber, insecticides, and the oil. See, very easy question. You just have to write the botanical names and the family names of the plants which are yielding the timber. See, we have the plants as a source of timber video here, right? Which type of plants and to which family they were belonging are already given here. Then plants as a source of edible oil. Okay, this video is already uploaded on our channel. It's again a free video, and this video will give you the names of the plants which yield the edible oil and to which family they were belonging. Okay, in the similar lines, you also have to give the plants which can produce the insecticides and to which family they were belonging. Okay, and for this you will get the 15 marks. Okay, for writing down regarding the edible timber plants, 5 marks. For insecticidal plants, the 5 marks, and for the edible oils, again the 5 marks, making it total to the 15 marks. Okay, now consider this seventh question, which is again divided into the three sub questions, sub question A, B, and C. Now, in the first question, they were asking to define the protoplast, write the methods of isolation and factors affecting the yield and viability. Okay, so for just defining the protoplast, again, this is relating with the plant tissue culture. Okay, so under the plant tissue culture, you have to define the protoplast, what is the meaning of protoplast, and what are the different methods of its isolation. Okay, so this is our video somatic hybridization, and under the somatic hybridization, we have defined what is the protoplast and how we can isolate them, what type of the chemical processes were actually used, what type of the mechanical processes actually used are given in this particular video lecture. Okay, see, and which type of the factors were actually affect their yield and the viability, that also we have to answer it. Okay, and for this you will get the 20 marks here. See, the second sub question, describe the male gametophyte development in the angiosperm with a suitable diagram. Again, the microsporogenesis, which is called as the male gametophyte development in the angiosperm, this question is asked for the 15 marks. Okay, and the detailed video of the same title, that is the development of the male gametophyte, is already on our video channel, and here you will get the step-by-step analysis that how the male gametophyte or the pollen grain finally got created in the angiosperms. Okay, so very simple process of the microsporogenesis is there, and for writing down this process of the microsporogenesis, you will have the complete 15 marks. Then in the third sub question, they were asking to compare and contrast the pattern of embryo developments in dicots and the monocots with a suitable illustration. See, recently we have uploaded the separately that how the embryo development occurs in a dicot and how the embryo development occurs in the monocot. Here you can see the development of the monocot embryo, and here you can see the embryo development in dicotyledons. So for writing down how the embryo develops in the monocots and how the embryo develops in the dicot, for this you will get again the 15 marks. Okay, so quite an easy questions. Okay, basic botany questions are these, and majority of the time UPSC remains the generalized one, and they were asking the very simple superficial questions, and sometimes they were like to go to the specific levels. For example, the Polycyphonia question or the plant families question, in which the ethnomedicinally important crops were actually asked from the Solanaceae and the Apiaceae family. Okay, but majority of the time the generalization is there in the question, that you just have to discuss how the embryo develops in the dicots and in the monocots and what is the difference between them. Okay, and we have already already make it easy for you, because we have already uploaded these separate videos on our channel. Okay, and for this you have to take the membership, and after taking the membership you can easily access these video lectures. All right, and all the notifications relating these particular video lectures are regularly uploaded on our Telegram channel. The name of our Telegram channel is the Botany Optional for UPSC. Okay, so same name Telegram channel is there, which is the name of our YouTube channel, and you should join this Telegram channel so that you will have the regular updates of the videos. Okay, so the development of the monocot embryo and the development of the dicot embryo is asked for the 15 marks, and for writing down this answer you will straight away give this particular marks. Okay, now consider the eighth question and the final question, which is again divided into the three subcategories, the A, B and C. Here the first question is to discuss the primitive features of the cycadales. Why the jingos were considered as a living fossil? If you are a live classes member, you already know we have thoroughly discussed this topic. That is, which type of the primitive characteristics were shown by the cycadales, okay, and why ginkgo biloba is considered as a living fossil. Okay, consider here regarding this we have two videos. See the silent features of the cycadales. Okay, which type of the vegetative and the reproductive characters are there in the cycadales. All were explained in very detail. Then there is a separate video for the jingoels in which we have in detail explained the ginkgo biloba and why this ginkgo biloba is considered as a living fossil. That too answered in this particular video lectures. Okay, so for writing down the primitive features of the cycadales and why we call ginkgo biloba as a living fossil, you will get the 20 marks. Okay, so the 20 marks question is there, and this 20 marks question you can easily get this 20 marks just by writing down the primitive features of the cycadales and why the ginkgo biloba is called the living fossil, right? Then in the second sub question they were asking about the somaclonal variation, how these can be produced, and explain the application in their crop improvement. Okay, again this topic is relating with the plant tissue culture. As you know, majority of the questions in the first paper were this time asked from the past plant tissue culture. Okay, so this plant tissue culture again become very important topic, and under this topic you have to explain what is the somaclonal variation. Okay, how we can produce that, right? And explain the different application of it in the crop improvement, how we can use this somaclonal variation to improve the crops, right? That is also for the 15 marks, and these 15 marks you can easily get if you write down what is the somaclonal variation with their application in the crop improvement, right? Then in the third sub question you will have the two sub question, that is the you have to write the notes on the somatic hybrids and the hybrids and their significance, again the plant tissue culture question. And then in the second sub question, totipotency, polarity and the differentiation, again these are also belonging to the plant tissue culture. So you can say that the whatever there is 8 questions in these 8 questions, whatever the question has came across, sometimes the plant tissue culture has given the paramount importance. Okay, because the somaclonal variation or the embryo rescue or the micropropagation and the somatic hybrids, and the totipotency, polarity and differentiation, these are all the part of plant tissue culture. So in this particular question paper you will understand those students who have understood the plant tissue culture thoroughly, they must have answered these questions very easily, right? So every topic actually in the UPSC mains examination is very important, but sometimes the UPSC is go for the simple topics which are belonging to the one specific parent topic, right? So from this what we can conclude is that you have to understand the each and every topic in the UPSC mains examination with the specific topics as well. Okay, understand the topic generally, at the same time you should go for the specificity of the topic as well, so that you will not miss any questions in the UPSC mains examination. All right, so this is all about this question paper. Okay, very soon we are going to discuss the second paper as well. Till then, keep studying.